Hello everyone, we are back with the Suzuki Grand Vitara and it has been 1 year since the last service I did to the car, and today we are not only going to change the oil and oil filter but also replace some other things like some coolant hoses. I have here 2 new coolant hoses, but this vehicle is 17 years old, so I'm going to replace some more. As you can see, there are some small coolant hoses that need to replace. Also, I'm going to replace the valve cover gasket. Maybe you can see here it has a little oil leak, and I will replace the gasket of the intake manifold as well as the EGR gasket. Let me tell you and show you why.
You might hear a whistling noise when the engine is idling. I connected an OBD scanner to the torque app on my phone to show the fuel trim values. Without getting too deep into the explanation, these values basically show how the ECU is adjusting fuel injection based on the air-fuel ratio that's being burned in the cylinder. In this case, I'm looking at the short-term fuel trim, and you can see the numbers are pretty high. The ECU is adding about 20% more fuel than usual. That usually means that the mixture is too lean. In other words, there's not enough fuel, or we can say there is too much air. These fuel trim values drops when I press the gas pedal, and that's a common sign of a vacuum leak, because at idle the mixture will be affected more heavily on vacuum, and any extra air coming in has a bigger effect compared to higher RPM. You can try to locate the vacuum leak by spraying some brake cleaner around the engine bay. Since it's flammable, the ECU will quickly adjust the fuel mix when the spray gets sucked in through a leak. You will see the fuel trim drop immediately. In my case, the drop only happened when I sprayed near the intake manifold. So I suspect there is a leak around the gasket over there.
Okay, so before we start working on the car, I like to see what we're going to do today. So let's start with the fluids. I have here the coolant, the engine oil, the differential oil. I have 4 bottles of 1 liter, but it takes only 1 liter to each differential, so it's only 2 liters. But here I have just a little bit from the last time I replaced the oil, and here I have 3 more full bottles. Okay, next thing, we have the valve cover gasket, the gasket for the plugs, engine oil filter, washer for the drain plug, and some coolant hoses. As I told you, we got small hoses, we got bigger ones, and we also got the metal hose, the big one. And I got here the gasket for the EGR and the gasket for the intake manifold. All the parts, as you can see, are Suzuki original. About them from amayama.com. I have here two new tools I want to use the first time today. So the first one is for the clamps of the coolant. Like you can see, it's a very hard clamps. So this tool should help me compress them. And the second tool is a funnel to help me purge the cooling system after I replace the coolant. So let's start with the job. I want to start with the valve cover because I need to use RTV and need to wait for it to dry. So in the meantime, while it's drying, I will do the rest of the work. I start with cleaning the greasy cover. I start with removing the hoses. Ignition coil. You can see the oil. It's a sign that we need to replace the gasket. Ooh, Here we got the worst case. And here the case is not good as well. Clean some more. Six nuts total. Now I will take it out. Hopefully the wiring harness won't interrupt me too much. If it doesn't go easy, we can use a rubber mallet. Or use a flathead screwdriver very carefully. Okay, let me show you something. That's the elbow. Here I have a little gap, so I will use it. Okay, I will need more access for the intake manifold, so I will guess I remove some of the fuel line here, so I have better access to the cover, because it's stuck. It don't want to come out. I have also a full guide on the injectors in this car. Let's clean it a little bit before putting the new gasket. Became like plastic. broken. We will insert the new ones with engine oil. Suzuki tells you to put on the 4 points some RTV. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 11. Let's give a try to the new tool. לא אמין שרק שני ליטר. יהיה חסר לי בסוף. יש לי פה עוד כמה גרושים. This is our indicator for enough oil when we can see it dripping. Don't know if you can even see this. כן, שהשעון מטפטף. So the drain plug is actually a magnet. You can see the metal flakes. It's not too bad. Okay, I tighten the bolt and then feel oil until it spills from the filling plug. Okay, so I put a hose and I will fill the oil from here. Okay, so I removed off camera a couple of things. I removed the air filter, the harness from the throttle and from the MAF sensor. I already removed the air hose, and now I will remove some coolant hoses. I sorted them to figure out which goes where, and I will have to take the evap valve out and some more lines, and I guess also the drive belt as well as the power steering pump, and then the whole intake manifold will come out. I hope so. When you put the bolts back on, you can never lose them. Okay, what I got left, this is fine. The steering pump have 3 bolts mounting it to the engine. And last one. So there is one nut here and 3 bolts. That bolt you have to use a flexi extension, as you can see, otherwise it will never come out. The EGR is connected here somewhere. I hope I can handle it. It's time to search the bolt. I think there's another nut over there. Like I thought, there is another nut over there, and I removed this bracket as well. I can't see actually but going with my hands. Oh. Okay, I have to remove the GR pipe down there. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to reassemble everything back on the car, and I'm not going to show you that because it will be long. So we'll be back in a minute. Okay, everything is back in place. Before we fill up engine oil and coolant, I want to show you the coolant hoses I just replaced. It was on time because I guess maybe in the couple of months, maybe one of them will finish its life. They don't look so good, so it was about time to change it before something happened. Now let's fill engine oil and coolant and start her up. I think it's about 4.8 liters. Okay, let's wait for the oil to go down to the oil pan, and in the meantime I'll fill the coolant. After I fill it all the way, I'll put the new kit and do air bleeding to the system. Well, I had an incident right after I finished filling up the coolant. This little hose, as you can see, it's the only one I didn't replace. Okay, let's check the oil level. Fix. I will start her up and then I will fix the level. Sometimes you forget only small sensor. it will need a couple of minutes to settle down and figure out the idling. The temperature starts rising up and you can see the bubble start coming up as well. Let's continue with the massage. Oh, good. Because there is a lot of air in the system, the coolant temperature is very high, but as soon as the bubble will go up, oh, as you can see now, the thermostat is opened up and now you will see the level will drop. The lower hose is still cold because there is a lot of air in the system. There is still no pressure in the heater core hoses. Oh, you saw the draft. See it from closer. The gap of 300 milliliters, it's all air. Now I'll go to the hoses of the heater core. Still cold. The hoses of the heater core are already hot, but the lower hose is still cold.